Mikel Arteta has gone out to credit Modric for choosing Arsenal over Chelsea because this boy has been vocal ever since this started. And when Chelsea came in through, he has always made it clear that I want to play for only and only Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto our channel. That is Rokani Media Football. It's the 7th day or 8th day. So it's the 8th day of January and we're here to bring you the second story of the day. I believe we are going to get you two more as soon as possible and we won't really let you down. So today, Mikel Arteta has been vocal about the transfer plan of Arsenal as far as Modric is concerned. Though he never mentioned a name of Modric, he really went ahead to hint about it indirectly. And obviously, this question came in from the press conference that he did ahead of the game of Oxford that they are playing tomorrow. And I think if at all you've been here, you've been watching my predicted lineup, match preview, and which players are really going to be back. And later at the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what took place at London Colney today as Arsenal prepared for that game. Not so, let's get into the story that Mikel Arteta has come out and really confirmed to us their January transfer signings. And Paul Merson has come out and really urged Arsenal to go on and do the needful and to set a deadline on the deal of Modric. If at all they don't come to a compromise with Shakhtar, then they should call that deal off and really go to another deal. Now, Mikel Arteta was asked on whether there is still value for money in the window, that is the January winter transfer window. He said, valuations have to be made between the selling club and the buying club, and it's difficult, but it shows there are lots of clubs with a lot of financial power to spend big amounts, and we have to compete with them. So, replying this question, he was hitting exactly at Chelsea on why they are really coming in to hijack the Modric deal. Now, talking about valuations have to be made between the selling club and the buying club. You get? There, he talked about Shakhtar and Arsenal. Arsenal believe the player is worth like 70 million euros. You get? Shakhtar, the selling club, believes the player is like 100 million euros. So that means Arsenal has to make a realistic evaluation of the player to see to it that they reach to a level of understanding with Shakhtar on the real price of the player. Because I don't believe that Mudryk's value is what? Is 100 million euros. I doubt that 100%. I don't believe in that. And you won't see Arsenal pay that money. That's it, because they can't really spend 100 million euros on one player in the January transfer window. Yet there are other players they can get in and really get this business done. Then you go there and say it's difficult, but it shows that there are lots of clubs with a lot of financial power to spend big amounts, and we have to compete with them. Here I was eating about Chelsea, that Chelsea has a lot of financial power, that having gone and brought in Fofana, Santos, and Buddy Shield, deals close to 60 million euros this January transfer window, they are willing to go out and stretch to spend more money and sign Mudryk. You get? And next, they wanted to go ahead and spend 85 million euros on Enzo Fernandez, meaning that they had a budget of close to 150 million euros to spend, meaning that they are left with like 90 million euros to spend, and that's why they are really going in for Modric, a player that Arsenal has been chasing in since last summer. And obviously, that is how Mikel Arteta went ahead to really throw it at Chelsea, and he was telling them that you have money and we are going to compete with you. And so he was hinting about it in that way, but he never mentioned Chelsea, but was talking about Shakhtar, the selling club, making valuations with the buying club, selling club being Shakhtar, and the buying club being Arsenal or Chelsea. Then went ahead to hint at Chelsea and its competition they've put on the market to see to it that they really delay the deal of Modric to Arsenal by coming in through and really promising heaven and earth to Modric and Shakhtar Donetsk, the club that wants to sell the player. Now, this is the most interesting bit of it. Now, Arteta concluded and said, to be smart, we have to see good opportunities and we have to be attractive for players. At the end of the day, players decide where they want to play, and if they want to play for our club, that is great. So, he has come out and really hinted the nail on its top, that we have to see good opportunities. And the good opportunity was seen by Arsenal last summer of Modric, and Modric was attracted to Arsenal. And Arsenal was attracted to the player known as Modric. That is what he's talking about. We have to see good opportunities, obviously, in a player like Modric, and Arsenal has to be attractive to the player. Obviously, that is done. Now, hear this line. This line really was dedicated to Modric, though it was not really tagged to his name, but obviously, if I told you to break this down, it was tagged to Modric because he was going ahead to do lots of things. He said, at the end of the day, players decide where they want to play, and if they want to play for our club, that is great. So, Modric has gone ahead on close to 10 times and confirmed to everyone that wants to come ahead and play for a team called Arsenal. Not so? So that statement really goes to Modric, coming in from Arteta, telling him that Modric, at the end of it all, however much Chelsea is trying to come in through, the player, Modric, has already decided that he wants to play for Arsenal. And if Mudryk wants to play for Arsenal, that is great. That's what he meant, that however much Chelsea is in with its money bags, the player decides where he wants to play. It's not the club. And he's right, because if the club is going to sell you and you tell them, I don't want to go that side, they won't sell you. They won't sell you there. That's it, because no player, no team wants to go out and really be sold. No player wants to go out to a team that doesn't love him, or a team where he doesn't want to play. Secondly, Shakhtar have come out vocal, have been so vocal on them not selling this player, that they are not in panic to sell this player. They can even sell him they can even sell him in the summer, that is June of this year. It shows you that they can't really see this player sold to a club where a player doesn't want to go. Meaning that all indications are Mudryk is going to Arsenal, but we don't know when, because the player is sold where he wants to be, and amongst all teams, he has chose Arsenal and has been vocal. He has gone ahead to even like posts that indicate Arsenal are really not. Sorry, Mudryk went ahead to like posts on Instagram that indicated he hates to play for Chelsea, wants to go to Arsenal, and he liked them. That is a clear message being sent to Chelsea that please don't tamper with the deal of me coming to play for your side, because I won't come. I don't want to go that side to play for your side. I want to play for Arsenal only. And that's how Mikel Arteta went ahead to credit Mudryk for making the Arsenal choice, because it was really something that you needed to go all out and hear from a man known as Modric. And Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to throw in support for Modric by telling him that every player decides where he wants to play. And that is something that Mikel Arteta has really gone ahead to jubilate and celebrate about before they play a game of Oxford in the FA Cup. So that is Mikel Arteta for you and Modric. And after saying all those words, that a player decides where he wants to go and play, there came a story coming in from, is it Grammy Bailey? That's it. From Grammy Bailey, he has told us that Mudryk wants to go to Arsenal. He's made the clear move. He's made that clear over the past 24 hours as well, from our understanding. Arsenal are not amused by Chelsea's coming in, but there is a belief in the Arsenal camp that it will be done. So, after Mikel Arteta telling us that a player wants to go where he wants to be, and obviously crediting him, even they're telling us that Mudryk in the last 24 hours has made it clear to Shakhtar and the people around him that I want to go to Arsenal. To bring you up to speed, Chelsea had started to go all out to to really, how do they call it? To influence the people around Modric by promising them lots of things, to go ahead and really convince the player to really show reassurances of wanting to play for them. The player said, no, I want to go out and play for Arsenal. This is what Mikel Arteta has been talking about, and given credit to a player known as Mudryk for making an Arsenal choice over Chelsea. And if at all you don't know Arsenal and Chelsea, these two clubs have been rivals for some time. But for the last 6-7 years, this rivalry had lost meaning because Arsenal were not competitive. They are just participating in these competitions. For the last 6 years, Arsenal has not been playing the Champions League. For the last 6 years, Chelsea has been competing in the Champions League. You know that very well. And lots of things have been happening in between Chelsea and Arsenal. So this time around, looks like Arsenal is all over Chelsea and they are beating them left, right, and center. Last season, Arsenal beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. This season, Arsenal went at Stamford Bridge and got a result of 1-0. And looks like Arsenal are in a better placed position than Chelsea. And if at all you are to confirm this, that Arsenal have really come back thick and fast with a lot of power that we really never experienced before since 2003-2004 when they really won the league unbeaten. They're on top of the league. They are in conversations of winning the title. When was the last time you saw Chelsea in the conversation of winning the title? Because for the previous 6-7 years, it has been Liverpool, Man City. Liverpool, Man City. And now Arsenal is coming through, meaning that the table of the mountain has changed. That's it. The tide has changed and Chelsea are really going down. Now, there is Paul Merson, you know him very well. He is a Sky Sports pundit. He has really said lots of things concerning Mudryk and has given Mikel Arteta advice on how to really influence or really get this deal onto the move. Paul Merson has said, I think Arsenal need 2 signings in this January. They've got to go out and buy immediately. I watched the game against Newcastle and they ran out of ideas. For that, we all came out and really confirmed that. Not so. We were in agreement with everyone that really said Arsenal needed Mudryk and Joao Felix in this transfer window. Then he continued and said, that don't get me wrong, Newcastle defended really well and it was really hard to break them down, but you've got to be able to change it up. There are no fresh legs. They paid £34 million for Fabio Vieira, but still didn't put him on the pitch. For me, that was a worrying thing. To me, it's not worrying because there are certain players you sign for the future. And Arsenal has shown us that they have been doing this business and it is going to pay out a lot for them. Let me give you an example. Look at Pablo Mari. They went ahead to buy Pablo Mari at £800,000. If at all he's to be sold now at Monza, if at all Monza stays in the Serie A, Arsenal are going to make a profit of £4,200,000, 200,000 euros. Meaning that they are going to sell him at 5 million euros and they're going to make a profit of 420. 4,200,000 million euros. 4,200,000 euros. That will be the profit they're going to make. And for Fabio Vieira, he's a very good player, but he needs to get used to the Premier League. And it's a game of football that you wouldn't expect him to come on through because it was so much physical. But this happened a lot. This happened a lot at Arsenal, but this boy has shown us that he is coping up well in the Premier League. Look, remember in the game of Manchester United, they brought him on. In the game of Brentford, he played 90 minutes. He has been coming on, deciding games. Remember the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers? For the first goal that they scored, that is Odegaard. Jesus does a no-look pass to find Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira goes in for a pass in the mouth of goal. That was like a cutback. Obviously, Odegaard tapped in the back of the net. And Fabio Vieira has been the score sheet in the Premier League against Brentford. So, he's really a very good player, but I believe the match situation was different, and doesn't mean that every player you have can be really useful in every match situation. That's what Paul Merson needs to know. But I believe Fabio Vieira is not a very bad player, as Paul Merson is trying really to go ahead and really state. That is something that I don't really agree with him when he comes out to say that onto a player called Fabio Vieira. But he went ahead to let us know about, there is a tweet, there is something said about Mukalo Modric. Where is it? Where is it? There is something said about Modric, if I'm not mistaken, that they need to put a deadline on everything they're going to do as far as that Modric deal is concerned. That is what this guy said. Let me look for it here and bring it through. But I don't believe in what he said about Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira is a really very, very, very good player that I really fancy and love. And I wouldn't like to see Paul Merson downplay the efforts of this boy. This boy has worked hard. And it doesn't mean that in every game you should be really influential, have a match worth £34 million. I believe there are players of Arsenal that have just gone ahead to grow. In every game they've been playing, and so I don't really see why he has come out and really particularly picked out a player known as Fabio Vieira. But to me, I believe Fabio Vieira is a very good player. But there is a tweet I'm looking for where he said that Arsenal should put a deadline on signing a player like Mukalo Modric, because if at all they don't, then Shakhtar is going to take them for granted. But let's wait and see. I'm looking for it here. I'm sorry, guys. There is a tweet I'm looking for. There is a tweet I'm looking for here. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the black button that has where the subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Remember, I want to hit 10,000 subscribers, and we are just few subscribers away from really hitting that number and do the needful and really get us to that level. And it's you who can really take us to those numbers, because we started from 0 subscribers. We are now where we are because of you guys. And please don't really disappoint us, to see to it that you have to go on and really support our channel by doing the needful in there for you. So I found it. Let me flash it on your screen such that you guys really watch it. And I was talking to the Daily Star, and he told them the following about this deal of Mukalo Modric. So Mudryk is exciting, and now Mikel Arteta is getting advice from every corner of this world. I don't know whether he's going to go ahead and really take it, but let's wait and see what Mikel Arteta does, because we are always being told that let many advise you, but decision making remains yours. So that's what Mikel Arteta is really taking on the board. So Paul Merson told us that Arsenal need to set Shakhtar Donetsk a deadline with Mukalo Modric. They've offered £62 million, and it should now be a take or leave it. Otherwise, the January transfer window will soon be over. For that, I agree with Paul Merson on what he has said about the Modric deal. £62 million are enough, close to 70 million euros are enough for Modric. If they're not taking it, Arsenal should move on and really get back out of the deal, because it's really eating up their time, and you wouldn't like your time to be eaten up by a deal like this, because it is really taking a lot of time for Arsenal, and Arsenal need to go ahead and really do more stuff as far as this January transfer window is concerned, because it's short. We are now 8 days into the window. We are left with just 23 days, meaning that Arsenal have to go on and really pursue other deals, because I don't believe they're only going to sign one player, Mukalo Modric. If that was the case, then they would have gone ahead to do the needful, and they don't want to go ahead and do the mistakes they did way back in the summer. Then he summed it up by telling us, that is Paul Merson, by telling us that even if they just swapped the wingers over for 10 minutes, Mikel Arteta seemed to be so engrossed in the game on the touchline that quickly passed Arsenal by. So he's really talking about the situation that Mikel Arteta was of really not having substitutes, and that's why he's telling him that if at all Modric is not coming at Arsenal at £62 million, go in and really get another player. other players that you're going to sign in and bring in at Arsenal. Let's go to what happened at London Colney today. That is how they arrived. That is Kientieni. For him, even if it's in the snow, he doesn't really cover up like other players of Arsenal. Look at them. They're in tracksuits, they're in jackets to train, but for him, he's a man who grew up in a snow area of Scotland and is so much used to that. Look at him. It's like free for him, yet it's winter and very, very cold. For him, he's always in a short play and a t-shirt or a jersey of Arsenal to train in. That is Gabriel Martinelli. All smiles at London Colney, geared up for the game against Oxford. That is Emily Smith-Rowe training, and the manager told us that if at all Emily Smith-Rowe trains today, then he's going to make it into the match squad of Arsenal and is returning. Trust me, he's going to play a little bit of game tomorrow. Bukayo Saka training with Arsenal, obviously one of the most informed players of Arsenal. I think Odegaard tops that list. Zinchenko Zinyi training with Arsenal, this time around looking fully recovered, having played 90 minutes against a side called Newcastle. Then Ben White training again with the Arsenal side as far as that game of football is concerned. Then Arteta comes in through to be there patrolling and taking control of the training sessions at London Colney. This happens to be Emily Smith-Rowe and Mikel Arteta having a word as they trained today. So that's what I had for you today. Your reactions to Arteta crediting Mudryk for choosing Arsenal over Chelsea are welcome in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about Paul Merson, who came out and confirmed us that Arsenal should go on and really give a deadline to the deal of Modric? If at all they've gone ahead to make a bid of £62 million and Shakhtar has turned it down, let them back out of the deal and find out another player or other players to sign, because the January transfer window is really short. May the Lord bless you abundantly. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later.